Hi, everyone. So welcome to the live stream today. Very much excited for having you on one of the key critical sessions that we can have as we prepare towards the ICAG May 2021 examination, guiding you on how to structure your revision and most importantly, how you can study in order for you to position yourself strategically to pass the examination. And somebody may ask, Nhyira, we've not reached 2 weeks to the exams or 3 weeks to the exams. Why do I need to start revision or what? Why do I have to do that? No, it is about structuring your studies in such a way that we are in week 9 already, week 9, for real, week 9. And you can see that, or you should know that we are left with about 6 weeks to go officially for the ICAG examination. And you should be in a position to restructure yourself now. And here at the Premium Education Hub, we have already started with our revision last week with our weekend sessions, Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m., where we are going back, solving questions on the things that we started with in week 1, in week 2, that kind of thing. So what I want to go through with you today is to provide you with a guide, provide you with a blueprint in order for you to understand how you can start preparing yourself and structuring yourself to prepare for the exams and most importantly, pass the examination. Because if you wait 2 weeks to the exam before you say you're going to start the revision, that's going to really screw you up in that case. So I see some of you guys joining the live stream on YouTube as well as on Facebook. You are welcome. Remember that on Sunday at 12 p.m. or 12 noon, we're going to be having our Zoom session. It's going to be a 2-hour session from 12 noon to 2 p.m. and we'll be streaming as well on YouTube as well as on Facebook. The meeting details will be posted on my Instagram page so that you can join me on the live call on Zoom, speak to me directly or speak with me directly. So we have the dialogue. I'll be taking time to answer your questions for you. We are focusing on corporate reporting and financial reporting this Sunday, 14th of March, 2021. At 12 noon, from 12 noon to 2 p.m., 2-hour session where we are focusing on corporate reporting as well as financial reporting. So make a date and make sure you join me. Follow me on Instagram because the meeting details will be posted on my Instagram so you can join the Zoom meeting and be able to speak with me and join the session in that case. So Sunday, 12 noon, you join me live. If you cannot join on Zoom as well, we will be streaming on YouTube as well as on Facebook, the discussion in that case. So welcome to the live stream. I see some comments coming in. Give us a thumbs up on the video when you join. Share the video. Let us reach as many students as possible. Today we are focusing on how to revise and pass your exams once. How to revise and pass your exams once. Whether you're writing CFA, ICAG, CIMA, ACCA, CPA, it is very important for you to understand how you can revise as a student in order for you to prepare well for the examination and most importantly, pass the exams. I see some comments coming in on YouTube. Osei Andrews said, good evening, sir. Good to be back. Yeah, good evening. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. Funto Bello said, good evening, sir. Good evening, Funto. I hope that you're doing well. Obi Mweba said, good evening, sir. Hopefully you are doing well. Yes, I am flourishing and I hope that Obi, you are also doing well. Thank you for taking time and joining us on the live stream. Share the video, let us reach students in that case. Now, this is also going to be a Q&A session, okay? This is also going to be a Q&A session. So comment in the chat box any questions you have for me. Whatever question it is, hit me with it as I share with you how you can revise and prepare for your exams and pass the exam successfully. So comment in the comment box on Facebook and comment in the chat box on YouTube with any questions you have for me. I'm going to be answering your questions as I provide you with a blueprint on how you can revise and pass your exams in the May 2021 examination or if you are preparing for other forms of examination. So Ahaz Timothy said, good evening, sir. Good evening, Mr. Nhyira. Please, can you post the Sunday meeting details in the WhatsApp group? Some of us are not on Instagram. Thanks. Yeah, definitely I'll be posting it on our WhatsApp group. So you will be having access to that in that case. Frederick Kondo said, good evening, sir. Good evening, Frederick. I hope you're doing well. John Malongo said, good evening, sir. When will you visit Tanzania? Okay, don't worry. One of these days, we will be there. So one of these days, when he started traveling, we will be there one of these days. But for now, you're going to be enjoying us virtually or joining us virtually in that case. So definitely, once this pandemic thing is over and we can start really traveling freely after the vaccines have been taken and all that, we will definitely come visit you guys in Tanzania, because we have some great fans from Tanzania, Zambia, I think Zimbabwe, and also South Africa and Nigeria. We have a couple of people in these countries, and we will be coming around to visit you guys. So John Malongo, stay in touch. We will definitely be there as the year goes by, definitely. Frederick Kundo said, I love your presentations. Thank you very much, Frederick. Thank you very, very much. So like I mentioned, this is a Q&A session. Comment in the chat box. If you have any questions, just type it. Put it in the chat box. I'm going to be replying to all of your questions and also providing you with some blueprinting here. YouTube, I see some of you guys joining. Facebook, I see some of you guys joining. Let me share my slide with you. Then we go ahead with our discussion for the day. So let's see. All right, there we go. So here we are. Boom. How to revise for a successful examination. How to revise for a successful examination. Now, Timothy Ahas is bringing up a question on YouTube. Let me look at that real quick. It said, please touch on how to tackle income tax for single entity, like some in the trial balance and in the footnotes. Thanks. Okay, when it comes to dealing with the issue in relation to the tax for single entity, what is going to happen is that you're going to have your income tax account. Okay, this is IAS 12. You're going to have your income tax account. Now, whatever is in the trial balance is the opening balance. Okay, whatever is in the trial balance is the opening balance. So if it is on the trial balance, it's on the debit side, you bring it to the debit side as the opening balance. Okay, so you could have current year tax or deferred tax. If the amount in the trial balance is on the credit side, do it. Bring it on the credit side. So balance brought forward. CY is for current year, DT is for deferred tax. Please note that. So one of these could be there. That is the trial balance. Once you have that, in the footnote to the financial statement, the examiner will tell you the tax for the year. Okay, the estimate that the entity is going to make for the year. So that's going to be the closing balance. So that will be the balance brought down for the current year tax. And then that will be balance carried down here, still for the current year tax in that case. Then you may be required to do workings for deferred tax. So if you do any workings for the deferred tax, so like I said, you may do workings for the deferred tax. The current year tax provision, you don't have to do workings for that, but the deferred tax, you are likely to be asked to do a workings for that. But if the examiner is excited also, he could do that for you so that you just do the presentation. But not very often is the examiner excited about the exams. Then the deferred tax closing balance is going to come here, which you calculated. So when you finish, you close this account or you balance this account, the balancing figure will always, because you said footnote single entity, I'm thinking that you are preparing the statement of profit or loss. Because you are preparing the cash flow statement, then the balancing figure will be on the debit side. So the balancing figure is going to be on the credit side, and that will be the charge for the year. Charge for the year. So this is what goes to the P&L account relating to the income tax for the year. This is what goes to the P&L account relating to the charge for the year. So, Timothy, that is the issue in relation to that. Now, when we go to the statement of financial position, stay with me carefully here. The deferred tax will go under non-current liability, and then the current year tax will go under current liabilities, okay? The current year tax will go under current liability in the statement of financial position. Please note also that you have to pay attention to how the deferred tax is supposed to be accounted for, because sometimes the examiner may require you to treat the deferred tax in the other comprehensive income as well as in the profit or loss account. So you have to be on the lookout for what exactly the examiner is asking and what it is that you must know about or how you need to present your work in that case. So whatever treatment the examiner wants you to do about the deferred tax, he will tell you. If it is quiet, then definitely it will be treated in the P&L account like this, as we've done. But if it is supposed to be splitted into the other comprehensive income and then the profit or loss account, we're going to be looking at that as well in that case. So that is how you deal with the issue in relation to tax, in relation to deferred tax. So Timothy, that is the question you asked about how we deal with the tax in the footnote and then the tax with the trial balance. Let me know if it is clearer for you and you understand that very well. Who else we got? Funtobello said, may God grant you long life, sir. Love from Nigeria. Amen. Thank you, Nigerian. We have a lot of people as well from there. Sir, please help me on transfer pricing. When you say transfer pricing, in what area are you referring to transfer pricing? Is it transfer pricing in management accounting, ACCA F2 or ACCA F5, or transfer pricing in taxation, or like which topic, like which subject are you referring to? Let me know in the chat box, and then let me see if I can share some thoughts real quick on that. I see some of you guys joining. Welcome to the live stream. I'm sharing with you how to prepare for your examination, how to revise for the exams, but most importantly, it's also a Q&A session. So comment in the chat box, comment in the comment box, any questions you have for me, and then I'll be touching on it real quick for you in that case. John Malongo said, sir, you promised to those who are, you can create a timetable for them, but I texted you without success. Oh, really? I don't get your question though, but it looks like you want me to assist you to prepare a personal timetable, I guess. So John, since you are a paid student, you can send me hi on WhatsApp, and definitely we can arrange a time for me to provide you with that assistance, or prepare the timetable and then you send it over, then I could give you some idea on it. You are a paid student, so you are part of our community already, so we can assist you to get that well done. Okay, so Ahaz Timothy said, that's it, quite better now. Okay, okay, so I guess you are good there. Any other questions? Facebook, let me know if you have any questions, and then let's go. So how do you revise to pass your exams once and for all? One of the challenges that students have had, and why students always scream that the ICAG exams is difficult, is the fact that many students write the exams more than once, and to some extent to the fact that students actually give up on their ICAG, go and do their masters so that they come and take some exemptions and blah, blah, blah. No. There is a way you've got to study. There is a way you've got to structure yourself if you want to increase the chances of passing the exams, and most importantly, taking your life to the next level. So you don't necessarily, it's good for you to do your MBA or your MSc in accounting and finance, but if you are doing that because you are failing the ICAG and you want some exemptions and come back, it will still haunt you in level 3 in that case, because if you are poor in the level 2, passing of the level 2, it will follow you in the level 3. So it is important for you to understand how all these pieces come together in that case. Like I said, we are in week 9. But then it is important for you to start revision right now. Because, for instance, we have started our revision. We started last week, and it's already getting excited. We'll be continuing this week on Saturdays and Sundays at 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m., 2.5 hours. We are solving questions on things that we have done from week 1, week 2, that way. So as we are moving forward, adding new topics, we are also going backward and trying to revise on some of the things that we have done. So this is for you, your personal study. How do you revise for the exams? How do you revise for the exams? Okay, so Funto Dan Bello said, transfer pricing F5, performance measurement. Okay, so let me share, that is a broad topic though, but let me share some thoughts with you real quick on transfer pricing. This is for management accounting students. It is going to help you a lot. So if you're doing management accounting, this is going to help you. Now, transfer pricing comes in because of divisionalization. That is, entities have more than one division. And for instance, division A will sell to division B. So when it comes to the internal transfer that occurs between the division, the price at which the division A sells the goods to division B is what we refer to as what? The transfer price. The transfer price. Now, how much division A charges division B, among other things, depends on a number of factors. Okay? So number one, if division A, that is the selling division, stay with me carefully here. If the selling division has limited resources, so they have limited resources. If the selling division has limited resources, but unlimited demand, when we say unlimited demand, we mean unlimited external demand. Unlimited external demand, then the transfer price. Now, they have limited resources, but they have unlimited external demand. They have limited resources, but they have unlimited external demand. Meaning that if they want to sell the goods to division B, that means they cannot meet the demand for the outside people. For that reason, the minimum transfer price shall be equal to the marginal cost of making the product, plus the opportunity cost or lost contribution. So that will be the minimum transfer price. So this is where the selling entity has a limited resources, but they have unlimited external demand, meaning the demand from the outside, it's unlimited, it's more, it's huge. We cannot even meet it. So anytime we want to sell to the internal department, that means we're going to be losing our sales to the external customers. For that reason, the minimum transfer price shall be the marginal cost of making the product and the opportunity cost or lost contribution. However, where the entity has unlimited resources, meaning unlimited capacity, but then they have limited external demand, from the external, then the minimum transfer price in that case shall be any price, or the minimum transfer price shall be the cost of making the products, the marginal cost of making the products. the marginal cost of making the product. So that is the idea. That is the idea. So in the question, we've got to be on the lookout for what exactly is going on. Is the entity having limited resources, unlimited external demand, or unlimited resources and a limited demand? And that will guide us in determination of what? The minimum transfer price. But note that the reason why this is very critical for organization is because of what? Goal congruence. Goal congruence. What is goal congruence? Goal congruence is simply ensuring that the division selling is selling at a profit and the division buying is not buying at a higher cost. So what is going to be happening sometime is that an external supplier may offer to sell their produce to the division who should have bought it from the internal organization. Now, what it then means is that if the external supplier offers a price below the internal transfer price, then it will be reasonable to buy the goods from the external supplier. It is for this reason why in the achievement of goal congruence, depending on whatever is happening here, any price, the transfer price should be between the minimum that the selling division can charge and the price that the external supplier will be supplying. So that at the end of the day, the selling division will make some profit and the buying division will not buy at a high cost in relation to that. So, Funto, Bello, basically when we talk about transfer pricing, that is what you need to understand in that case. Like I said, it's a broad area, but I just wanted to touch on it and let you know the basic idea, basically, when it comes to transfer pricing. So, Funto, Bello, let me know in the chat box if you are okay with the concept established here on transfer pricing. Any questions, please? I see some of you guys joining on YouTube as well as on Facebook. When you join, comment in the chat box with your questions, and then let's see how I can answer your questions for you. Joseph Mensah, I see you with a thumbs up on Facebook. Then Joseph Mensah said, good evening, Nhyira. I believe you are doing well. Thanks for the good works. God richly bless you. Amen, Richard Mensah Joseph. God bless you too. I'll see you in the evening. Nhyira, I learned, but I find it difficult remembering what I have learned. Okay. So this is Patrick from Facebook asking that he learns, but he finds it difficult to remember. Now, if you learn, you find it difficult to remember, there are, among other things, some few issues that we can bring up or talk about, because I understand that that could be also a challenge that students may have in that case. So before we get any excited about it, if you study but you don't remember what you study, then there are a number of factors at play here. Number one, it could mean that your environment of studying is not as conducive as possible. I'll be talking about that in that case. So there could be some environmental issues. Number two, there could be some psychological issues here. Now, when we say psychological issues in this part of the world, immediately you hear psychological issues, we think people are mad or whatever it is. That's not what I meant when I say that, or that's not what I mean by that. But when we say psychological issues, we're talking about how your mind is actually synchronizing with your brain. Your mind is synchronizing with your emotions. Very, very important. Because for you to really maximize and be productive and study to remember everything you are studying, your emotions must be in line with your mind. What does that mean? It means that if you are studying but you are thinking about something else, you are thinking about something that is troubling you, you are thinking about something that is worrying you, maybe you don't have money, or maybe some relationship issue, maybe some family issue, maybe some work issue. So your emotion is not in sync with your mind, then whatever you are studying is like pouring water on stone. So it's not going to become fruitful. So aside your environment, where you actually study, is it a noisy environment? Is it a cool environment? Is it a comfortable environment? How do you even sit when you study? Because the posture with which you sit to study also affects the way your brain works. Are you getting it? If you sit down and you have to bow like that, at the end of the day, your spinal is going to be hurting, and that is going to affect the efficiency of how blood flows into your brains, and that is going to also affect the way you're able to memorize or remember what you've studied. So if you finish studying and you are tired, it tells you that you're not productive. That is environmental issues. Psychological issues has to do with how your emotion is in sync with your brain, with your mind. It's very, very critical. So, Patrick, if you study but you don't remember what you are studying or what you studied, number one, it could be environmental issues. Where you are studying probably is so repetitive, probably is so noisy or not comfortable. Then you need to look at it. If you pick a book and you feel your mind is not in line with your side, put it aside. But this is what you need to understand. You need to be able to learn how to master or control your emotions. Very, very critical. Because whether you like it or not, life will hit you hard. Whether you like it or not, there will be a day that you are not happy. Whether you like it or not, there will be a day that something you did not expect will happen. But in the midst of all that, you have to study. In the midst of all that, you need to prepare for the exams. So you should be able to learn how to control your mind. Or sometimes someone will tell you something that you don't like. Someone will insult you. Someone will tell you something in your face directly that could affect your emotions, that could affect the whole day. But in the midst of all that, you need to learn to master and control your mind. Very, very critical. You need to control your emotions. Because if you say you're going to follow your feelings, you are not going to study. If you say you're going to follow your feelings, you are not going to be productive in that case. So, environmental issues, you need to look at the psychological issues, your mind and your emotions. Then, Patrick, the third thing may be your learning style. Your learning style or study approach. Your learning style or study approach. It's very critical for you to identify what exactly works for you. It's very, very critical. Now, this is not just for Patrick. I know some of you also have the same issue where you study and you forget. So you need to look at your study style. What is it that works best for you? If you open a book after 1 hour and you can't remember anything, you're screwed. You're screwed very well. So you need to look at your study style. Which one works for you? Is it repetitive? Okay. Is it using mnemonics? Is it maybe writing what you have read? Is it whatever it is, reciting what you have read? What is it? Which one is it? Because sometimes some people remember when they finish reading and they speak it out loud. So they finish reading, they've jotted some notes down, then they will just be speaking it out. So I've met some people who, especially for reading subjects, they will be learning and reading to themselves aloud, and they will be recording it. Then after that, maybe they are in the gym, they are in the kitchen, they are cooking something, then they will be replaying that audio and they will be listening to it. It's repetitive, it's over and over again. That is how they learn. So you need to know what your learning style is. Because some of you study like you read novels, or you study like you are watching telenovelas, and that is not how it works. You need to be able to really structure yourself and look at that very well. So look at it. yourself what exactly works best for you. If you know what exactly works best for you, then you can increase your chances of remembering what you study, then you can pass the exams. So environmental issues, the physical location, where you are, what surrounds you, how you sit, the things that are around you, because there are some of you, if you are studying, you are not focused. So the fourth thing has to do with what? Focus. The fourth thing has to do with focus. Because if you are studying and you are distracted with mobile phones, with your you are studying and you are, my slide has paused. Let me look at it. Okay, back. So if you are studying and you are with your mobile phone and you are looking at the mobile phone and you are replying to messages, blah, 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 and all that, you are not learning. You're joking, man. Maybe you're reading public sector. You know, public sector is reading. I've heard people say, public sector is a boring paper. You read, you don't understand. So when they are reading public sector, their data is on, and guess what they are doing? They are on Instagram. They are replying to messages. You are not learning. It is called relaxation. Relaxation. So please make sure you focus. If it is 1 hour, put off your data. Or put your apps in freeze mode that they can't give you notification. Because if your data has to be on because you need to watch some lecture videos, then put your data, put your phone in a focus mode. Now, depending on the phone you are using here, that is also an issue. If you're on Samsung, an advanced Samsung phone, then you will get something like, is it Me Time or something like that? Focus time. Yeah, focus time, where you can only select certain applications you want to receive notification from whilst your data is on. Or you can just post notification from applications within a certain hours in that case, or totally put the phone on silent, put it somewhere else if you're not going to be needing it to study. Focus is very, very critical. I tell my students all the time, it is not the number of hours you sit to study, it is how productive you are during the time. So if you spend 2 hours and you get up and nothing is in your head, then you're screwed. Because someone can spend just 30 minutes and the person is 85%. Everything you can remember, everything you can look at it in relation to that. So that is the concept about what you need to understand. So Patrick Angmo, you said you learn, but you forget. These are some of the things that I will suggest with you. I'll suggest that you do in that case. And I'm going to be sharing with you some revision techniques as well as we proceed in that case. So look at your study environment, deal with the psychological issue, make sure that your mind is in sync with your emotions. Look at your learning style, which works best for you, and then make sure that you are laser beam focused as far as you are studying in relation to that. You are laser beam focused as far as you are studying in relation to that. So that is what you need to understand when we talk about that. And I see some of you guys joining. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, so Patrick Ogma said, thank you very much. Always a pleasure, Patrick. Always a pleasure. Then let's go back. Facebook, comment in the chat box with any questions you have for me real quick. John Malongo said, sir, can you comment on regression analysis and learning curve in management accounting? Yeah, I could comment, but that is also a very broader concept in there. Possibly I could touch on that maybe on Monday on the live stream. So I could teach that a bit because learning curve, I could just put the formula down, explain the concept, but if we don't practice some questions, it will not be well understood. So we'll look at that later on. Ado Samuel is with a thumbs up. Finto Bello said, thank you so much, sir. God bless you more. Brief explanation, and I was able to pick from it. That is awesome. Asuman Ansumana Danso said, hello, sir. How are you? What are you explaining? What are you explaining? Something that is disturbing me, reading and speaking it loud. Okay, I don't understand your statement, Ansumanu. Please clarify that for me. Mohammed Suleiman has said, good evening, sir. Please, what's the key to understand published accounts? The key to understand published accounts is understanding the accounting standards, because the published account is the end product. But what goes into the end product is the accounting standards. So if you want to understand the published accounts, the final accounts, the statement of profit or loss, statement of changes in equity, statement of financial position, the cash flow statement, the basic or at the bottom of that is the issue in relation to that. So make sure that you understand the accounting standards. If you understand the accounting standards, you will not have a problem in that case. If you understand the accounting standards, you will not have a problem in that case. Then Ado Samuel said, please, can you repeat the live stream section days and times so I don't miss? We go live from Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. GMT. So you can follow me on Instagram, because the details for the discussion is always posted on my Instagram page. So you can follow me on Instagram there and you'll be able to get the notification. But it is 4:30 to 4:30 every Monday to Friday. But this Sunday at 12 noon, we are doing a special live session on Zoom. So the meeting details will be posted on my Instagram page. And for those of you who are already our students or studying under my mentorship in our paid program, you will get the link on our WhatsApp page in that case. So Sunday at 12 noon, we are looking at corporate reporting, financial reporting. I'll be answering some questions for you. Then we'll be solving some questions also on the consolidated financial statement. So this Sunday, 14th of March, you can make a date and join us on the live stream in that case. We will be streaming as well on YouTube as well as on Facebook. So if you are not able to join the live, if you're not able to join the live stream or join the Zoom session, you'll be able to watch the playback always. Timothy has said, please, what are connected to your WhatsApp phone? I don't understand your question. Mafu Ejay said, what? With a thumbs up there on the page. Thank you very much. Right, so let's go into the discussion real quick and let's see what exactly we can do as we touch on some few things in there. Let me go back. There was an issue with my sharing. Let me go back, pick that up real quick. Okay, I guess I'm back. Okay, so Dansu said, what I meant was, when I'm studying, I always raise my voice without that. It is always difficult for me to understand. Okay. Okay. The only disadvantage of that approach is if you happen to be at the library or you happen to be in the company of other people studying and you're studying in a room and you have to be raising your voice, I mean, that will really bring a lot of discomforts to the other people around you, but you just have to find out how you can fine-tune yourself when you are in people, and when you are privately alone, you will be able to do it as you wish in that case. So how do you revise and prepare for the exam successfully? So number one is to find a good place to study. Find a good place to study. Find a good place to study. That is what I mentioned in relation to the environment when I was answering Patrick's question, the environment. Where you study is very, very critical as a student. You cannot study in a noisy environment or an environment that is not conducive. Someone will say, oh, Nhyira, me in my house, it is just one room and they will be watching TV, they will sleep around 12. So by then, me too, I'm tired, then I go to sleep. No, You cannot sleep. You cannot sleep. You have to find ways and means to get better environments to study. That's very, very critical. That is very, very critical. When I started my journey back in high school and all those things, I didn't have a conducive environment. I was working as a bartender, so I would have to, from school, I would come back, be serving in the bar, and we would close around 12. I would have to clean that place because that is where I'm going to be sleeping. And it is after that time, cleaning the place, that is when I will study for some 2 hours, 3 hours, or 1 hour before going back to bed. It's about sacrifice. It's about sacrifice. So you need to find out, irrespective of the house you live in, whether you live in a compound house or whatever it is, find the time that nobody can disturb you. Nothing can distract you. Then in that case, if it is possible, sleep early, then you can wake up in the dawn to study. But I know that is where the sleep too is nice. But if you are not disciplined, you cannot become successful. So the environment you study in is very, very critical. So as you are preparing, as you are revising, make sure that you get a good, serene environment to study. 2, design a personal timetable. You design a personal timetable. You design a personal timetable. Now, designing a personal timetable is very critical. This should be based on your schedules. It should be based on your school's timetable. And it should be based on your productive or your peak level. So there are 3 things you have to consider when looking at your personal timetable. When is your peak time? At what time can you study fast? At what time do you study and you understand? When is your peak time? Then, what is your school's timetable? And then, what are your schedules like? Schedule or schedule, depending on the school you attended and the teacher who taught you how to pronounce things. So your peak time now, like I said, your peak time is when you are active, your brain is active, that kind of thing. Now, I share this with you all the time because the peak time is very, very critical. It's very, very critical, especially when it comes to things like the ladies, and I always talk about the female because of their menstrual cycle. If you're a lady or you have a lady, whatever it is, it's very important you understand your menstrual cycle because you see, at every stage, there are about 4 stages of the menstrual cycle. At every stage, there are different hormones that are released. So there are times when you are a lady, but you don't feel like talking to anybody. You don't feel like you have emotional swings coming in and there. Those times you cannot study. Those times they are not your peak time. Those times, even if you pick the book, nothing will go into your head. But there is a time you realize that you are creative, you are outgoing, you are critically thinking, you are analyzing things. Those are the times that you need to optimize. It is not that you are sick. It is not that you have a mental problem. It is not that there is something with you. That is the nature of life. That is how God made you. So especially with the ladies, you need to understand your emotional swings. You need to understand which stage of the menstrual cycle you are at, which hormone is being released, and what your emotions are. Because if you are at a point where you are moody and you don't feel like talking to anybody and you pick a book to study, you're going to freak out in there. You're going to freak out in there. Now, I'm not a medical doctor to give you medical advices, but this is something I learned from my brain coach and mentor, Jim Quick. All right. So I learned some of these things. That's how I'm able to know. So you can speak to your doctor about it or read about it online. But if you're a lady, you got to be careful about that. Now, for the guys, you also need your peak time. This is the time you're going to be damn productive. This is the time you cannot give excuses. This is the time your brain is on top. This is the time you're not thinking about Barcelona and PSG and we lost. And so we are out of the Champions League, something like that. So this is not the time you're going to be thinking about that. This is the time your brain is active. Your brain is open. You are engaging your thoughts. You are in your peak level. You can analyze things at the highest level. Identify your peak time. Then your school's timetable is very critical because you want to study in the evening. You want to study something that you will be going for lectures the next day. so that when you go for the lectures, you have been able to revise what was done previously. So, or maybe something that will be done that day, you have read about it, around it, so that when the lecturer is teaching, you have a better understanding. When the lecturer is teaching and he said, is there any question? You don't sit down and do your face like you don't have any question, because you've not learned anything. So you design your personal timetable based on taking into consideration your peak time as well as your school's timetable. Then you need to look at your schedules as well as an individual. What times are you free? What times do you have for free on your clock that you can play around with, that there is nothing coming on? You're not taking the children out. You're not taking your girlfriend on a date. You're not taking your boyfriend on a date, or you're not watching any telenovela, whatever it is. What time can you have to yourself? That is what you need to understand. So in designing your personal timetable, you want to make sure that you know your peak time. You want to make sure that you know your school's timetable. You want to make sure that you find out your schedule in relation to that. So that is the second thing you must understand about how you study and how you prepare your revision. Once you get a better environment and you have a personal timetable, the third thing you want to do is to set steady targets. You want to set steady targets. What does that mean? It means that you need to have a goal. You need to tell yourself, okay, week 1, I'm going to do public financial management systems in Ghana. Okay, week 2, I'm going to focus on budgeting and budgetary control. Okay, week 3, I'm going to do this. Week 4, I'm going to do this. Or this time, this is what I'm going to do. This time, that is what you got to have a steady goal. But it must be reasonable, however, challenging. Because if you don't challenge yourself, you cannot do better. So you must have steady targets. From this date to this date, I should cover this. But make it reasonable. Make it reasonable. Don't write 6 accounting standards in a day when you know you can only study 1 accounting standard. It's not about bragging. I mean, you're not showing off to any lady, or you're not showing off to your boss, or you're not showing off any. It's your own life. I mean, be reasonable, but you got to challenge yourself. So instead of writing 4 accounting standards in a meeting, what I would do is maybe 2 accounting standards. Or if I'm excited about it, I could do 1 accounting standard and solve more questions about that accounting standard, especially the standard that is quite challenging to me. So I increase my chances of passing the examination. So you want to set steady targets. Let it be reasonable, but it should also be challenging. Let it be reasonable, but also challenging. That is the third thing you want to understand. Then the fourth thing is to discipline yourself. Discipline. You see, it's one thing to have timetable. I've seen people, they have beautiful timetable, but they never follow it. It's like they are using it for flex, free show, so that everybody will know that you learn. We will go inside, you don't learn shilling. You don't learn anything. So what you want to avoid as a student, what you want to avoid as an individual, is to have a personal timetable and not follow it. So this is where you say that, oh, you know that today you have accounting standards you have to study. Then telenovela, somebody tells you that, wow, Charlie, this is a new series, so it is nice, the lady fell in love and they were buying flowers and some madness going on. Don't do that. Discipline yourself. Or you have a timetable, and in your timetable, today you are supposed to do this. Then they said, oh, Manchester United and Liverpool, or Manchester, this is playing. Then you stop, you leave the book to go and watch the match. Now, one of the dumbest things I hear people say all the time, and I say this, I see it as dumb because that is how I see it, and it is my own view. You can take it, you can ignore it. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. You see, when I hear people say that, I ask a number of questions. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. Are you serious? All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. How much money is in your account? All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. What do you know? All work. Have you achieved your goals? Have you achieved anything in life? All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. You hide behind all work and no play and refuse to discipline yourself and focus on your career, focus on your goals to become successful as an individual. If the billionaires, the millionaires, the successful people, the people you are looking up to are still working, they are still hustling. Every day they are thinking about how to take their businesses, how to take their career, how to take their lives to the next level. Then who are you to sit down and be looking around? So you see people, whatever party it is, they will attend. You see people, whatever series it is, they will watch. You see people, whatever outing it is, they will go. If you ask, they will say, oh, I cannot play, make Jack a dull boy. And if they go and fail the exams, then they start saying that ICA is difficult. They start saying that ICA is wicked. They start saying that ICAG doesn't want you to pass the exams. What the hell is that? Why will you say such things? Did you discipline yourself? Have you forgotten the times that you were partying? Have you forgotten the times that you were going out? Have you forgotten the times that you were watching the telenovelas when your books were crying that, come on, pick me, oh, lend me, oh, lend me, oh? You were not doing it. You go into the exam or you fail the exams, then instead of you to be bold and say that I screwed up, I did it, I failed, it is because of me, then you'll be blaming ICA. Forgetting that some students pass the exams that you failed. Or you are beautiful, or you are so handsome, or you are too important that ICA will fail you. I mean, why would you make such a dumb statement? You cannot make such a statement. So if you want to really pass the exams, you want to really position yourself strategically, make sure you work on your environment. Make sure you design a personal timetable based on your peak time, based on your school's timetable, based on your schedules. Make sure that you set steady targets. Now, these targets should be reasonable, but most importantly, they should be a bit challenging. However, if you don't discipline yourself to follow your timetable, if you don't discipline yourself to study during your peak times, if you don't discipline free times that you have and hide around, oh, I cannot play, make Jack a dull boy, you're going to screw your life. Okay, so I'm back. I guess my network freaked me out a little bit. So let's see if I can pick it up from there. My network freaked me up a little. I hope you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me in the comment box. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me in the back. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so Asumana Dancer said yes, you can hear me. So that's the fourth thing, discipline. Discipline, very, very critical. Very, very critical. Discipline is critical, something I cannot overemphasize. So number one, get a good environment. Number design a timetable. Number 3, set steady targets. Number 4, discipline yourself. Sacrifice. It takes sacrifice to be successful. So as you are designing your timetable, as you are preparing for the end, then number 5 is to revise actively. Revise actively. When I say revise actively, it means engage the material you are reading. Yes, you've studied it before and you are going over it, but don't look at it as a storybook. Don't just look at it partially. Revise actively. Pretend as though you've not learned it before and find out, okay, what did the lecturer say here? How can I apply it here? How, if the question is stated like this, how can I apply it? Be questioning yourself as you are reading, as you are revising, as you are going over the things. Revise actively. Be writing notes. So I tell my students this: have a small notebook or a notepad or whatever it is, and write out summary notes in the index. Summary notes. So as you are revising, your main note is there. So during your revision, you are preparing summary notes, bringing out the key points, bringing out the key principles. At the end of the day, what is this? If the question says this, this is what you do. If the question states this, this is what you do. If the examiner makes this statement, this is what you do. Summary, summary. You revise actively, not passively. Number six is my take on study group. Study group. I've heard some people, they are like, yo, Nhyira, I study better when I have colleagues around me or friends around me and we are studying together in relation to that. Be careful the person you call your study partner. And if you study in groups, then get like-minded people. Okay? So get like-minded people to study with. Okay? Get like-minded partners. Because if you are studying with somebody whose mind is not on the exams, or you are studying with somebody whose focus is, oh, Charlie, what stop studying, let's go and eat some pizza and go and sleep. Oh, Charlie, today I'm not studying, you know. We can study, God willing, tomorrow or something like that. Today we are tired. Man came to do some. He didn't come to do all. So let's just forget. No. You don't want to be around such negative people. I will eliminate you seconds in my life. Period. From that day on, you won't even come close to me. You got to be careful here. Because you see, you are the average of the people around you. So if you want to go higher, you've got to be able to walk with the eagles. You've got to be able to fly with the eagles. If you want to become a high person, a successful person, you don't want to waste time, you don't want to waste money, you don't want to go fail the exams, then definitely you need to surround yourself with people who equally have the discipline, who equally have the focus, who equally are determined to become successful. But the issue is, it is hard to come across such people. It's hard. Because sometimes you are all at workplace and you're all doing ICAG, you're all doing ICAG, or you're all doing CIMA. So sometimes when you close, you say you are learning together. There are some people, they are not serious. Get them off. If you get someone who is serious, who is a like-minded person, go with them. Go with them. It doesn't matter the person's religion. It doesn't matter the person's sex or age. As far as you are like-minded people, you respect each other's view. Come on, go for it. So my take on study group is, if you get like-minded people, do it. Go ahead, get somebody, study together. But if you don't have anybody who is a like-minded person, or who doesn't think the way you are thinking, or does his or her things the way you do, let them go. Let them go. So that is my take on study group. That is my take on study group. In your revision, you can do that, but be careful. Now, one advantage of having a study group is that it helps you to study best. Because you see, one of the things that happens is this. If I know, because if you have a study group, you can schedule and say that we are all doing management accounting. So we can say that, okay, Timothy, on our next meeting, go and learn break-even analysis. Because when you come and solve question on break-even analysis with us. On our next meeting, I'm going to learn budgeting. After you finish with the break-even, then I'll also teach you budgeting. I will also discuss questions with you. So if you have somebody like that, of a like-minded person, what happens is that they challenge you. Because you know that you are going to teach the person, you know that you're going to be teaching the group. And this is where someone will say, me there, I can't teach you. That is why you are not understanding what you are learning. Because one of the ways to increase your chances of understanding what you study is to study as though you are going to teach it. It's to study as though you are going to teach it. Because if you study as though you are going to teach it, you don't want to disgrace yourself. You don't want to shame yourself. You don't want your colleagues to laugh at you. You don't want your colleagues to say, oh, you like that you went to learn. You want to protect your image. So you will do research, you will work hard so that you present to them and they will be wowed and they can clap for you. The more you do that, the more you increase your chances of actually passing the examination, and most importantly, take your life to the next level. So that is one benefit of having a study group. If you have the like-minded people, you teach each other, it's good. But if you have people who are not like-minded and they are sick, then you got to make sure that you take them out of your life and study alone. Nothing will happen to you. Then the last thing is, as you are revising, you need to talk to your lecturers. Talk to your lecturers. Very, very critical. Because as you are revising, issues will come up. You're going to face some challenges. As you are revising, there are some topics that you will need further explanation on. As you are studying, revising, there are issues that we need more clarity on. So you need to talk to your lecturers. This is why it is important that wherever you are attending lectures, you have access to your lecturers. You should be able to have a call with your lecturer or have a discussion with your lecturer concerning something you don't understand. But if you're in a school or in an institution where you cannot get access to the lecturers, they just come to class, talk, go away. Come to class, talk, go away. Then you have to go and ask your colleague. Now, what is the guarantee that your colleague even knows what he or she is talking about well? Sometimes you need to hear it from the horse's own mouth so that it increases your understanding of passing the examination. So during your revision sessions, as you come up with the challenges, as you come up with things that you require further explanation on, you need to talk to your lecturers in that case. And that is one of the environments, that is one of the things that we don't joke with here at the Nhyira Premium organizations a lot, because I am available for I'm available and the students get access to me. As and when they are studying, something come up, boom, they can place a call me, and boom, they get a reply. Oh, Nhyira, I'm studying this. How, boom. So they don't have to wait till the following week in class before they ask me, or like they should go and ask their colleague. Maybe what if the colleague also doesn't know? So during your revision, you want to make sure that you stay in touch and talk to your lecturers in that case. So what am I saying in a nutshell? What I'm saying here is this. In order for you to revise, in order for you to pass your examination, check yourself. Get a good environment to study. Check yourself and design a personal timetable. Check yourself and set some targets. Be reasonable, but let it be challenging. But however, all these will not become fruitful unless you are disciplined. Unless you are disciplined. So you've got to have the mindset to discipline yourself to become successful. Then make sure that whilst you are revising, you are really active as you are revising. Form a study group or join a study group. If you meet like-minded people, fine. You can form study group, join a study group. And also, whilst you are revising, you make sure that you also talk to your lecturers in that case. These 7 tips, I believe, if you can implement them and let them guide you, you will be in a better position to revise and, most importantly, pass the examination. To revise and, most importantly, pass the examination. So that is what you need to understand about how to revise and pass your examination. Any questions, please? Let me know in the comment box if you have any questions for me, please. If you have any questions. Remember, like I said, we have started with our revision. We started last week, and it's getting interesting. Tomorrow, we're going to be continuing. Sunday, we'll be continuing with other subjects. I guess tomorrow evening is public sector, and then Sunday evening is going to be accounting standards, that is for corporate reporting and financial reporting students. And we've started with our revision already. And it's great. It's great because the earlier you start, the better you'll have the chances of actually passing the exams and, most importantly, taking your life to the next level in that case. So that is what I want to share with you today. Remember that we're going to be live streaming on Zoom on Sunday, 14th of March. That is this very Sunday at 12 noon. So from 12 to 2 p.m., we will be live streaming on Zoom. You can already see the meeting on YouTube as well as on Facebook. And the meeting details will be posted on my Instagram page so that you can get the meeting ID and the password. So you join me live on the Zoom call, speak to me directly, because in the first 30 minutes or 45 minutes of the discussion, I'll be answering your questions on corporate reporting and financial reporting. We are focusing on corporate reporting and financial reporting, because after that, we'll be solving a question on consolidated financial statements. So make a date this Sunday at 12 noon and join me. We'll be streaming live on YouTube as well as streaming as well on Facebook. So make a date and join me. I would want to have you live on the call so we can speak with each other. I will hear from you. You ask me the questions directly so that I provide you with some answers so you can become successful and pass your examination in that case. Funto Bello said, sir, what is the easy way to understand performance measurement questions? My last 2 papers I wrote on PM, time allocated to each question is not enough. Please, sir, how do I manage my time in the exams and at times? You don't manage yourself in the exams, you manage yourselves before the exams. Now, some things you need to take into consideration. Number one, whilst you are studying, you must increase your understanding of what you are studying very well, so that when you see the question, you know exactly what is being asked. Am I going to use break-even concept here? Will I use the marginal costing principle here? Will I use, is this question on short-term decision? Is it a budgeting question? What concept is being asked? So you must train your brain in such a way that when you read the question, you read the requirement, you know exactly the approach you go with. Because the problem most of the time is not that you don't know, the problem is about time. And the reason why you think you don't have enough time is because you really take time to understand the question. But if you study in such a manner where you study under time and you know the requirements of the questions and you know what is being asked, it reduces your chances of actually spending time processing the questions and to answer the questions. So what I would say, Bello, is that as you are studying and you are practicing questions, practice questions under time. Practice questions under time. Have a walk, have a stop clock or whatever it is, and study under time. So if it is a question you are solving, like the section C questions, 20 marks each of them, that means you're supposed to spend 36 minutes on each of the questions there. So if you are solving a question like that, you put a stop clock on, then you find out when the 36 minutes reaches, are you finished? Then as you work on that gradually, you'll be able to now bring yourself in line to discipline your time and to allocate the time in the exam or in that case. Because we are all a bit different when it comes to working with speed and accuracy. But you have to train yourself to be able to understand the question when you read it, because that will help you to pass the examination very well. So, Bello, that is what I would say in relation to that. Any other questions? So thank you very much for joining us this week, and thank you very much. In case you've not subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell notification icon. That way, when I go live, you'll be the first person to be notified. Remember also that we will be live streaming on Mondays to Fridays, 4:30 p.m. On YouTube as well as on Facebook. But this Sunday, on 14th of March 2021, we'll be having a special session focusing on corporate reporting and financial reporting, and the Zoom meeting details will be posted on my Instagram page, so you can follow me on Instagram at Nhyira Premium, and I will be able to help you to pass your examination and prepare for the exams. Adiwole said, my problem is to understand the questions and requirements needed. Thanks for doing a good service. Always a pleasure, Adiwole. Right, so thank you very much. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Joseph Mensah, Patrick Ogma, Nicholas Sarwini, and all of you guys on Facebook, Asumana, Adewale, Frederick, Kofipa Enterprise, Robert, Ashley, Timothy Ahas, Mafo Ej, Ado Samuel, and all of you guys, John Malongo, thank you very much for taking time. Obi Mweba, and all of you guys, thank you very much for joining us on the live stream. We will continue next week with our discussion, but if you are doing corporate reporting and financial reporting, join me this Sunday at 12 noon on Zoom, and we'll be streaming as well on Facebook and as well as on YouTube. And let me answer your questions as well as help you to solve questions on consolidated financial statements so that I can position you for a 20-mark guarantee in the exam hall to get that question in that case. So thank you very much. Have a blissful weekend. Take care of yourself. Stay safe and stay blessed. Bye-bye.